After picking up Troy Evans and the others from the airport in the early morning, Kevin and Tyler Dawn went to check out one of the Kessler family's hotel properties to determine its suitability to be converted into a school. Kevin brought Troy and the others to the Gafford family's mixed martial arts school to challenge them, informing Noah Gafford that he intended to use his family school as a stepping stone toward building his own school in Washington. Unsure who would dare to challenge him like this, Noah was quietly informed by Daryl Gafford that this man was Kevin Williams. After learning this, Noah Gafford approached Kevin and said, "Kevin, I still haven't settled the score with you regarding the matter of you chasing my family out of the auction. You have come to my family to cause trouble today. Do you really think that the Gafford family is some kind of pushover?" His chest heaved up and down violently. His right hand, which was pointing at Kevin, was trembling. "You can only blame your son for being so arrogant and domineering. He disrespected me because I was an outsider. He even said that he wanted me to get out of Washington, D.C. Under such an unreasonable situation, if I just rolled over and got along with the Gafford family, wouldn't others laugh at me for being weak and incompetent?" Kevin raised the volume of his voice and scolded in a stern tone. Noah Gafford frowned when he heard that. He turned his head and looked at the old man who had followed him for many years. "Is what he said true?" he asked. "Luke went to find Kevin a while ago. No one knew what happened during that period of time. It's just that he was injured when he came back." He told Noah Gafford everything he knew. Combined with what Kevin had said earlier, Noah Gafford immediately came to a conclusion. He was very clear about Luke's character. In the past, Noah Gafford felt that his second son's talent was only ordinary. Even with the help of the family's resources, it would be difficult for him to achieve great things in the future. Therefore, Noah Gafford had always placed his hopes on his oldest son, hoping that he could become his successor in the future. As for Luke Gafford, he began to treat him as just an ordinary son. Therefore, Luke would often do things to try and bully others with his power. After that, it would always be Noah Gafford who would have to clean up his son's mess. However, Noah Gafford had never thought that Luke would actually dare to cause trouble for someone in Kevin's position. It wasn't that Noah Gafford had doubted what Kevin had said, but judging from the various signs, he knew that he was telling the truth. After all, the Gafford family had nothing to do with Kevin, and Kevin had no reason to target their family. "Well, what do you say?" Kevin slightly raised his head and said, "Do you now understand the cause and effect of this matter?" "Huh. You are not the only one who can attest to it. As for you, how many people know whether you are the real deal or not?" Noah Gafford would not easily cave to Kevin. After all, there was no one else present. If they weren't careful and simply admitted it, the Gafford family would inevitably fall into a similar trap in the future. You still refuse to admit it, don't you? However, there is one thing that you might not have thought of. The place where I live is equipped with monitoring and recording equipment. That day, Luke's every word and action was recorded as evidence. Why don't I put it on the internet and let the public comment on it and decide? Kevin said in a general tone. When he said this, Noah Gafford was stunned on the spot and his expression darkened. "Mr. Williams, you are about the same age as my son. Young people are always careless. It is inevitable that you will say something wrong and do something wrong. It is not like it's an unforgivable crime. There is no need for you to hold on so tightly to this." Noah Gafford took a deep breath and restrained his temper as he spoke. Just hearing these words made everyone present understand that Noah Gafford was admitting defeat. Or it should be said that he was giving Kevin a way out. What a pity. I have always been respected by others, and I have always respected others. Since your son has already turned away, if I don't continue playing the game, I'm afraid people will say that I am too soft, Kevin replied as he toyed with Noah. When these words came out, the surrounding people immediately exploded. "What the hell? This kid isn't a fool, is he?" someone said. "I think he is just pretending to be a fool. It's obvious that he wants to go toe-to-toe with the Gafford family," someone else said. This kid wants to take on the Gafford family? I would like to see him try. We'll definitely be watching a good show today, the third person commented. However, Kevin didn't pay any attention to the discussions of these people. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and looked straight at Noah Gafford. Then how do you want to solve this situation? Noah Gafford asked as his face turned gloomy. He originally thought that by lowering his head he had already given Kevin a lot of respect. He was the one who was reasonable enough to not argue with him about today's matter. However, Kevin did not budge an inch. He really did not seem to care about his status. My idea is very simple. Aren't the Gaffords a family of experts? Then we will settle this matter in that way. It just so happens that these people here with me are experts as well, and they have been itching for a fight. Why don't we do it? How about the best out of 5? Kevin said in a relaxed and casual manner. Noah Gafford raised his chin and looked at Kevin. So you are here to challenge my family, is that right? So what if I am? Are you willing to accept this challenge? Kevin said as he took out a letter that he had prepared beforehand. Dustin Newman took the letter from Kevin's hand and walked quickly to Noah Gafford and held out the invitation in front of him. So if there is going to be a fight, there should be a prize, right? What if you lose today? Noah Gafford glanced at the letter, then looked at Kevin and asked in a cold voice. If I lose, I will compensate you. Also, I will help you fix the plaque that was broken and give all my shares in the Orion Group and KWTD Corporation to you. What do you think about that? Kevin answered without hesitation. If Tyler Dawn and Terry Watford were here, they would definitely lose their minds because of Kevin's words. Kevin owned 20% of the shares of the Orion Group. Adding the Kessler family's shares, the shares that belonged to him were worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And that wasn't even taking into account the KWTD Corporation. Even Tyler's shares were not as much as Kevin's. It could be said that what Kevin was offering up was equivalent to his entire net worth in Washington, D.C. The conditions are very attractive, but I still want to add one more condition. If you lose today's match, you will publicly admit your mistakes. Noah Gafford said fiercely. No problem. Kevin answered confidently. Noah Gafford's face revealed a proud smile. He had probably heard something of Kevin's power base, but that didn't mean that his men were pushovers either. What do you want from me? Noah Gafford asked immediately. He was experienced. He knew very well that the greater the temptation, the more things he wanted. After all, there was no such thing as a free lunch. What I want is very simple. If you lose, all of the properties of the Gafford family will belong to me. All of the members of the Gafford family will leave D.C. and will never be able to come back, Kevin said as his face turned dark. The bait he threw out was already big enough. It could be said that it was many times greater than the profit. However, what he wanted was not just the Gafford family, but also the attention of all the most powerful forces in Washington, D.C. Everyone's facial expression changed when they heard this. Although the benefits Kevin were offering were tempting, they couldn't afford to lose either. You had better think twice. Why would he dare to bet so much? He must have something to rely on in his back pocket. If we make the wrong choice, the foundation of our family will be completely destroyed. Someone immediately stood up and advised Noah Gafford. That's right, sir. We really can't afford to bet so much at this time. If we lose, we will have no way out. Another member of the Gafford family stepped forward and said. Noah Gafford took a deep breath and looked at the many members of his family with a complicated expression on his face. Everyone, please listen to me. The benefits that Kevin has offered are very attractive. This is a chance for the Gafford family to reach extraordinary heights. As long as we can get the shares that are in his hands, even if we don't continue our development in the future, we will still be able to become one of the top powers in Washington, D.C. As the saying goes, fortune favors the bold. Gentlemen, do your best. As long as you win 2 matches and leave the last match to me, the outcome will be decided. We want to let everyone in Washington, D.C. know one thing. The dignity of the Gafford family cannot be trampled on by anyone, Noah Gafford said, encouraging his family members. He's right. We must do everything we can to defend the dignity of our family. A young member of the Gafford family replied loudly. That's right. I want to let them see what true strength is, another person echoed. More and more young warriors were filled with fighting spirit, but the elders of the Gafford family were frowning and struggling to see the wisdom in this decision. Looking at the reaction of the members of the Gafford family, the corner of Kevin's mouth curled up into a smile, and he patted Troy Evans' shoulder. Although you are stronger than they are, you can't become overconfident. I have already placed all of our hopes on you. If we lose everything, we can only go back to Chicago with our tails between our legs. We will never have the chance to come back to D.C., Kevin said in a serious tone. Although they did not understand the true stakes, they understood the importance of this battle. Don't worry, Mr. Williams. We will take care of business today. I guarantee it, Troy Evans said firmly. Violet Sweeney and the others nodded in agreement. Kevin, the Gafford family has accepted the terms. Since it is a bet, we will report it to the fire elementalists and have them certify it. Noah Gafford clenched his fist tightly and said, No problem. Kevin spread his hands and shrugged his shoulders as he said indifferently. The so-called fire elementalists were an organization formed by numerous families of experts. The headquarters was located in the upper realm, and its greatest use was to help the Empire organize all kinds of competitions among experts like this one.